Hello, my name is Joe, and what we're going to be looking at in our little Houdini adventure is part 3 of creating our simple tube ladder. If you find this useful and helpful, please like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more videos. And don't forget to check out my website, 3dassetlibrary.com, for Unreal and Unity Engine assets. So, previously, in the last video, we basically intersected these holes into the ladder to simulate our source material, and we've added a bevel around the edges to obviously make it not so sharp. Obviously we've created this, we've then duplicated it across all of the steps here. We also remeshed this so it was neater, so we could basically export this out if we need to. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add some very simple weld here, and then we're going to add some simple materials. So what we'll do is we'll locate our steps, and we will go and as I say, I'm only going to do something very simple here. Obviously, you spend as much time as you want positioning this, etc. But what we'll do is we'll go right-click, sphere, and just let this to, say, a polygon. What's a polygon mesh? Yeah, we'll try a polygon mesh. And then what we're going to do is just go drag off the sphere and type in transform. And we're going to rotate this 90 degrees. And then what we're going to do is we want to basically, I'm just having a look, yeah, leave it as it is for the minute. We're going to obviously resize this down to say 0.2, 0.2, 0.2, oh, sorry, 0.2, 0.2. I'll get there in a minute, 0.2, 0.2, 0.2. There we go. And obviously this is far too big, but we'll come back to that in a minute. So what we're going to do is then just plug this in. We're going to create a merge. If I can actually right-click, create merge. And we're going to plug our poly bevel in from our previous tutorial, and then prop our new cylinder in, and then plug that into the copy to points. So now we can see here what's going on. So obviously this isn't right. So what we need to do is just resize this down to, say, let's try 0.1, 0.1, 0.1. So, okay, we'll start here. So try 0.05. Is that, what's that like? So then we're getting a little bit of overlap here. So what we'll do is we'll then drag this out, which I believe is this one. Nope. This one. So that's given us a little bit there. So now we probably need to increase the height of this. So what we'll do is, if I can get this right, I can never get these right because you're switching between so many different 3D programs. So there we go. So we're getting a little bit there. So now we probably need to just back that into our, just back a bit so we're not so far in. So we're getting a little bit of weld there. So let's have a look. So what we're going to do is squash it up a bit as well. So let's have a look. I think it's this one up here. That's height. That one. I'll get there in a minute. There we go. So we'll squash it up, and then we'll just move it obviously back over. Still not quite right. Too squashed now. So then we're going to move that back, and then we're just going to add a tiny bit more to this. So that's basically copied all up there. Obviously that's not quite right because we want it to be a bit thicker. We want it obviously you could spend far more time creating weld for this. I'm just using this as a very quick example of what we can obviously stop these tutorials being incredibly long. So there we go, we've got a little bit here. It's not amazing, but it does the job. And we've still got a hole there. Yep. So what happens is we will shade this a different color later on. So is that going to look? We can come back and adjust this, obviously. So now what we need to do is copy this to the other side. So it's a bit like previously. If we go down to our merge here, not our merge, what we would do is come back to here, and what we want to do is basically copy, transform. So as before, we need to move this over in one, and no, scrap that. We need to go to our width here, right click on length, copy parameter, go to our copy here, and paste it in here. to create our relative reference in theory. So there we go. And then we want to go minus 0.1, is it? 0.05. Obviously, that's far too much. 0.01. 0.04. So do they look similar? No. So we're getting something a little bit similar there. Obviously, this is trial and error. I'm probably sure there's some equation later on that we'll figure out that will allow us to adjust that. So now when we move that, yeah, we're still getting our welds there. So that's obviously a very, very simple weld. So now what we want to do, so everything works as it should, is we want to now colour this. So what we're going to do is we want to go to our posts first. So what I've done is I've just got some simple metal materials off of textures.com. Again, generally I use my own, but I'm doing this so that obviously you can follow along and get whatever. So what we'll do is we'll go to our main post first, and we will drag off of this and type in auto. So we'll get an auto UV here. And we just want to select our UVs, press 5 on the keyboard, and you can see there we can say UV unwrap there. We'll just leave it on auto UV because that's given us a pretty good result. And then after that, we're going to go quick and select quick material. And then we'll just switch to that. Press 1 on the keyboard. That's going to take us back to our model. And we want to go to with our material selected, go to material type, PBR, and then on base color, take texture and locate our textures. So we want to put our albedo in. For roughness, textures, where is roughness? Roughness, that's how shiny things are. Metallic. Metallic's obviously how metal it is, and your normal map simulates 3D, so you can add like scratches into it. Ambient occlusion, and that should be all our textures. Obviously, initially it doesn't look great. What we want to do is go to our roughness here and just invert the roughness. And obviously when you render this out properly, obviously it'll look far better. But obviously I'm just showing you this for the sake of this tutorial. So then what we'll do is we will just copy these, because essentially we want the same types of metal. And what we're going to do is we are going to go, where should we go? We want, this is our weld over here. So what we will do is I'm just going to shift some of this about for neatness sake. There we go. Just so it makes a little bit more sense when we're looking at it. So there we go. So we probably want after this one, which we're going to paste and just break this connection here by selecting it and then pressing delete, and then slide that in. And then we're just going to press 5 on the keyboard, just check. That's all right. Yeah, that's good enough for what we're doing currently. So then press 1 on the keyboard. You can see here we've got a metal texture. So now what we need to do is just add our little weld. So we're going to do this slightly differently. Is that we're going to go into here, drag off auto UV. Just check what that looks like. Yeah, switch to that. Yeah, leave it. So drop down the method and switch to UV unwrap, and then we'll drag off this again and go to material and select labs quick material. And what we want to do is just press 1 again, so we're back here, and just show both our steps. Actually, and show the whole lot. So go down here, show the whole lot. So in our quick material, we just want to make the welds generally like a bit shinier. So what we'll do is we'll open up with our quick material selected, go to the base color tint, and we're going to look for our grey here. So that's all right there. We would obviously want to add a bit of shininess to this, and then we want to obviously fully metal. So I should back that off so it's not so metal. So what we've got here now, as you can see here, is we've got like this intersecting. Again, when you render this obviously looks better, but this is just principle. You can do whatever you want. You can put your own custom materials here. You can do this any color you want. You can go to quick our tint here and say, well, we want it red, whatever you want. These could be black caps that you often get in ladders. So as you can see here, we've got a very a simple tube ladder here. We've learned a few new things in here, so we can control the height using this, and it's adding more steps. We can control the amount of steps actually within that. So we've got there. We can control the width if we need to create bigger, longer ladders. So this is great, as I say, the fundamentals of a ladder. We'll probably look at some other types of ladders along the way with the flat step ladders with some actual detail and etching in the steps and that for grip and whatnot. But this is giving you a very rough idea of how to create a very simple ladder. And yeah, so hopefully that's helped. If it has, please do like and subscribe to obviously get more notifications on our little Houdini videos, or my little Houdini videos I'm doing to try and help people and myself along the way. And if it is, cheers. Thanks.